Waheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Waheguru Ji Ki Fateh. Welcome to the segment of Coach Gurbani's a-sabad-a-day. Our recitation is the 16th pauri from Asa Ki War. Has two saloks and a pauri. The first salok is being recited. We will discuss the contents and then move on to the second and then to the pauri. The recitation. Slok Mahalla Pehla Gau Birahaman ko kar lavo Gobar taran na jai Toti tikka teh jap mali Daan malecha khai Antar puja pade kateba Sanjam turka pai Chodi le pakhanda Naam liye jahe taranda. So in this first salok, as in the others, Guru Nanak continues his social critique of the disparity between our professed value systems and actual behavior. Here he's calling into question the integrity of Hindu administrators and officials who were in the service of the rulers, the Muslim rulers, because there was a nexus. The Muslim rulers who conquered India used the existing administrative framework for revenue collection and governance and relied on the Hindus who were the administrators already. So here he's criticizing the Hindu officials specifically, although the criticism is applicable to all of us, but just to give you a sense of the setting of what he is observing. So he says, Gau Birahaman ko kar lavo, Gau Birahaman. It's pretty straightforward. He's saying you, the Hindu toll collector, you levy a toll on the Brahmin because he has to ferry his cow across the river. At bridges, they would levy tolls on animals and cows. And usually the administrator, the collector, was a Hindu who held the cow as an object of veneration. So the Guru is saying, if you're imposing taxes on the cow that you venerate, surely then, how is cow dung going to ferry you across to the other side, meaning liberation? So he's calling into question the integrity. So he goes on to say, Toti tikka teh japamali taan malecha khai. You display your caste status. You display your religious affiliation by wearing a dhoti, a loincloth, applying a tikka, a caste mark, and carrying a rosary in your hand. But, daan malecha khai, you have no qualms about accepting gifts and wages from those that you consider outsiders and outcasts. You're quite willing to compromise your integrity when it comes to receiving money. And within your home, he goes on, you perform the Hindu puja, antar puja, but outside the home, you consult the texts of the rulers, the Semitic texts, pade kateba. Not only that, but you also adopt the ways of the Muslim rulers just to please them. Sanjam turka pai. You dress up, you behave, you've adopted the lifestyle and mannerisms of the Turk, the Muslim ruler. So the question that Guru gives is, Chodi le pakhanda. Give up this pretension. Don't be a hypocrite. Because only through the guidance of wisdom can you swim across, be successful in whatever it is that you do. Naam laiye jahe taranda. Taranda, to swim across. So he began with the analogy of a Brahmin wanting to take his cow across a river, being taxed for it. So you have to pay. Similarly, to cross over into hukum or universal consciousness, there is a price to be paid. Naam, you need the currency of Naam. And the next slok, Mars khane kare nivas, churi vagayan tin galatag, tin gar brahman pure nad, onah bhi aave oi sad. Kudi ras kuda vapar, kud bol kare ahar, saram dharam ka dera dur, nanak kud raya bharpur. Matha tikka tod, mathe tikka, tedi dhoti kakhai, hath churi jagat kasai, eel vastra paire hove parvan, malech dhan le puje pran, abhakya ka kutha bakra khana, chauke upar kise na jana, dekhe chauka kaddi कार, ऊपर आए बैठे कुड़ियार, मत फिटै वे मत फिटै, ਇਹ ਅਨ ਅਸਾਡਾ ਪਿਟੈ, ਤਨ ਫਿਟੈ ਫੇਰ ਕਰੇਨ, ਮਨ ਝੂਠੇ ਝੁਲੀ ਭਰੇਨ, ਕਉ ਨਾਨਕ ਸਚ ਧਿਆਈਐ, ਸੁਚ ਹੋਵੇ ਤਾਂ ਸਚ ਪਾਈਐ. So this salok moves in a different cadence, short phrases. So now he continues the theme. He's making an observation, the irony. He says man-eaters lead the Muslim prayers. Manas khane kare navaj. Who are man-eaters? What he means is exploiters, corrupt exploiters. Churi vagayan tin galatag. And then again, people who are robbing others at knife point actually wear the sacred thread. Not only that, but they invite the Brahmin into their homes to initiate religious ceremonies. Tinigar Brahman pure naad. So what he's saying is, Una bhi aave oi sad. Whether it is the Hindu official or the Muslim ruler, they adopt the same methods, they derive the same pleasure in exploiting the population. Here is a hint to us. We are all in the same boat, is what he's saying. And now he reflects on, in the next few phrases, on their dealings, their transactions. He's saying the capital that they have is tainted, kudi ras. Their reputation is blemished. Kuda vapar, their transactions, their dealings are unethical. Their speech is manipulative and misleading. Kud bol. Their lifestyle is corrupt. Kare ahar. The foundations of social restraint and law are corroded. Saram dharam ka dera dur, and falsehood prevails everywhere. Nanak kud raya bharpur. So again, he repeats the same point. The Brahmin wears a tikka to display his piety. He wears the three-folded dhoti, but he has a knife in his hand. He's like a butcher. He wears neel vastra. He wears colored clothing. Neel here means colored, not necessarily blue. He wears colored clothing, which is not the white that he would normally wear, because he wants to be accepted. Hove pravan. He takes food, wages from the outcasts, but at home he worships per his own scriptures. Belej dan le puje paran. Eats meat slaughtered by reading the kalma. At the same time, doesn't let people into his marked cooking area, chauke upar kise na jana, but sits there in all falsity, pretensions. And then they keep saying, don't enter this area, don't defile it, whereas their minds are defiled. They wash their bodies, but their minds remain defiled. So Nanak gives them advice, he's giving us advice. Nanak sach tyaye, such hove ta sach paiye. You have to purify the self, which means you have to dissolve the ego in order for the purified self to emerge. And then now to the Pauri is the advice, is the crux of the matter. Chitte andar sabko vek nadri het chalayenda. Within our consciousness is the indwelling self, the inner witness under whose watch we are enabled. Het chalayenda. So we are living beings because we can move ourselves, but we move ourselves because the self is present in us. It is the animating force. It is the indweller. It watches everything. Ape de vadiyaiyan, ape hi karam karayeda. So it is the self within that is the source of all virtue. Vadiyai is a synonym for naam as well. So self-knowledge comes from the self that is within. It makes sense, logic. Vado vada vadmedani sire sire tande laenda. Vado vada, greater than the greatest. Its creation is equally great. Nadar upatti je kare, sultana kao karaenda. Nadar upatti je kare. Meaning, if you stand in opposition to hukam, to its workings, nadar upatti, meaning you are going against that vision. Nadar means vision, it means grace. It means if you are working against the natural state of things, hukam, then even the mightiest are reduced to begging. Sultana ka aukaranda, meaning even the mightiest of the mighty are trivial, non-significant. You have significance only to the degree that you are in hukam. It's as simple as that. If you're not in hukam, you're trivial. It doesn't matter what you do, how mighty you appear, like the symbol Rukhasarayara. So if you're in ego, you don't matter. If you're in hukam, you matter. So nadarupati je kare. So the key is get rid of your ego. Don't follow the dictates of your ego, which makes you compromise. Your ego makes you compromise with your principles. It makes you compromise with the outsider. It makes you a hypocrite. You adopt the ways of the outside. It's all the ego doing. So the Guru says it does not really pay. Dar mangan pekhna paenda. It does not pay to beg, to seek favor from just about anybody. Develop virtue and cultivate your own strength. Don't be compromising when it comes to your values. Vaheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Vaheguru Ji Ki Fateh.